Most people buy candles without ever thinking about who made them or how much it cost to produce one. The person who made it is thinking about that number every single day, and that number is what makes this business work. Let me show you exactly what is happening behind that candle. A candle-making machine is a compact production unit that melts wax, fills molds, and produces finished candles in bulk at a fraction of the cost they sell for on the shelf. You load the wax, set the mold, and the machine handles the pour and the shape. What comes out is a finished product that is ready to package and ready to sell. No factory, no large team, no complicated process standing between you and a product that moves in homes, churches, restaurants, and emergency supply kits all over the world. This is not a trendy product. Candles have been sold for centuries, and they are still sold today because electricity is not guaranteed everywhere, and atmosphere is something people are always willing to pay for. That combination of practical necessity and everyday lifestyle demand is what makes this machine worth understanding as a business tool. Let us break down the full operation from raw material to sale. The first thing that makes candle production attractive is how little your raw material actually costs. Paraffin wax is one of the most affordable industrial inputs available to small manufacturers. You buy it in blocks or slabs, melt it down, and pour it into whatever shape or size your mold produces. The cost per candle at the raw material level is very low, often just a few cents depending on the size and your local supplier pricing. The candle itself, once shaped and packaged, sells for many times that production cost. That gap is wide enough that even a small daily output gives you a meaningful margin. You are not trying to compete with a massive factory. You are producing for your local market, your nearby shops, your community events, and your direct buyers. And at that level, the numbers work in your favor from the beginning. Now let us talk about who actually buys candles and how often. The buyer base for candles is broader than most people assume when they first look at this business. Households buy them for power outages, which in many parts of the world happen regularly and without warning. Churches and places of worship buy them in bulk on a consistent schedule because candles are part of their regular practice. Restaurants and hotels buy decorative candles to set the mood in dining spaces and guest rooms. Event planners and wedding coordinators order them in large quantities for ceremonies and receptions. Retail shops stock them because customers ask for them. Informal market vendors buy them wholesale and resell them at a markup. Each of these buyers has a different order size and a different purchase frequency. And as a candle machine operator, you can serve all of them from the same production setup. The next part of this business that works in your favor is storage and shelf life, and candles do not expire in any practical sense. You can produce a batch today and store it for weeks or months without the product losing value or going bad. This means you are not under pressure to sell immediately after production. You can build inventory during slower periods and move it during peak demand seasons, like the holidays, religious festivals, wedding season, or periods when power outages are more frequent. That kind of flexibility is something most perishable product businesses do not have, and it gives candle production a low-stress rhythm that is sustainable for a single operator or a small team. Let us also look at what you can produce beyond the basic white utility candle. A candle-making machine opens up a product line, not just a single item. You can produce plain paraffin candles for functional use, which sell on volume and practicality. You can produce colored and scented candles for lifestyle buyers, which sell at a premium price point because they are purchased as gifts, home decor items, or personal indulgences. You can produce candles in different sizes, from small tea lights to large pillar candles, each with its own market and its own price. You can create simple custom orders for events and occasions where buyers want a specific color or shape. The machine gives you a production base, and your creativity and market research determine how far you take the product line from there. Running costs for a candle-making machine are straightforward. Your main inputs are wax, wicks, colorants if you choose to use them, fragrance oils for scented varieties, and your molds. Electricity consumption is modest because the machine operates at low temperatures relative to other manufacturing equipment. The machine itself has a long operational life when maintained properly and does not require specialized servicing. What this means in practice is that your overhead stays low and predictable, which is exactly what you want when you are managing a small production business on your own or with minimal staff. The question of who can start this is one worth answering clearly. You do not need a background in manufacturing. You do not need a commercial space to begin. Many candle machine operators start from a garage, a shed, or a spare room and scale into a dedicated space once orders justify it. If you have access to a power supply, a reliable wax supplier, and a market nearby, whether that is a local community, a network of shops, or online buyers, you have everything you need to get started. The machine handles the technical part. Your job is to produce consistently, price correctly, and get your product in front of the right buyers. Here is what this comes down to. Every time the power goes out somewhere in the world, someone reaches for a candle. Every wedding needs candles on the tables. Every church needs candles at the altar. Every person who wants their home to feel a certain way on a quiet evening is a potential buyer. That demand does not shrink. It does not go out of style. It does not get replaced by a newer product. You are not creating demand for candles. That demand already exists and has existed for longer than any business trend you have ever read about. What you are doing with this machine is simply positioning yourself as the person who supplies it. The market is already lit. You just have to show up with the product.